This video I'm going to be reviewing my Simagic simulator and all of the gear that's in it, how it's held up over the past few months, and also what softwares and things I use when I'm drifting. We have a scarless bucket seat. It is just a simulator, so I didn't really go for anything crazy like a race tech, as well as a scarless wheel for the same reason. Over here we have the Simagic direct drive wheelbase. This is a very responsive, and it honestly feels amazing, this wheelbase. I really like it quite a lot. Following up with the handbrake, it is a hydraulic handbrake from Simagic. These two things here are some of my favorite parts about the Simagic gear, but I'd say my main favorite thing is this. So this is the Simagic shifter, and my reason for this is because if you watch, by just a flick of the switch, you can go from an H-pattern gearbox or even a 6-speed, and also having a reverse and a 7th and 8th speed, to also having a sequential gearbox. That's awesome. All right, let's move around to the back to my pedals. I think these are the 1000, the R1000. Oh, I don't know, I'm not too sure the name of them, but I know they're like the 1000 series. So the frame itself for the sim is from Track Racer. They have a adjustable seat that you can attach to any seat, which is really cool. You can move it back and forward. It's really good for when I have friends or something over and they want to play as well. I do quite enjoy about the Simagic products how on their products themselves, you can actually open these here and adjust how hard it is to actually pull. So you take this off and you can actually adjust how hard it is to pull. Mine's quite tight because in a drift car you want it to be quite hard to pull, and I'm trying to simulate my car. The same with my clutch. It's very hard to push in. It's quite touchy, and that's the same with my drift car, as well as my foot brake. It's also quite hard to push in. So while this is restarting, talk about all the features. You can actually disconnect this wheel from the base. On these bases, you can actually buy a Simagic wheel and it plugs in, and you can have like buttons and all of that stuff for your actual wheel itself. I find that very cool. Or if you want to run an aftermarket steering wheel like this, they offer a base plate that sits behind this, and what that does is when you plug it in, you can run an aftermarket wheel but also still have those buttons there like as hotkeys. So one of them could be like, oh, go back to pits, refuel, so etc, etc. Okay, so now that I'm in my computer, I can actually show you how to connect the triple monitors. So all of them come up in Assetto Corsa. You've got to just right click, go into NVIDIA control panel and go configure over here. I might actually drag, oh yeah, I'll close it down and drag it over. So my one says there's only 2 of 2. You want to hit configure and actually go 1x3, because that's 3 displays, and you want to select them like this. So mine's currently enabled, so you'll see 1, 2, 3. You want to click them in order that the numbers are showing up on your screen. The next thing that I have that I don't see a lot of people using is something called real head motion. So pretty much when you're in a content manager, hang on, I'll just show you when I actually get into the track. So when you load into the track, what a lot of people don't have is real head motion. What it does is when you turn your wheel, it also turns your head, because obviously when I'm sitting in a car, I'm sitting a lot further back than what this car's obviously showing. But when you try go back in the onboard settings, you start to glitch into the seat. So it's pretty annoying. And obviously when you turn your head, you see like a part of the seat there. I have mine set the farthest it can go forward without seeing the seat. So because of that, when I look to the side, I can't see actually out of this window. But when I'm on full lock, this is the area I'm looking at in drifting anyways. And it's the same for this. This is where I'm looking when I'm on full lock and drifting as well. So another software I have is something called dynamic return, and you pretty much bind a key. So let's say this is where I want to start, and I come along, I start drifting, I initiate in, and I go like way too long and wash out off the track like I have here. The only way I can go back is I have to go back to the pits, start up, and then I have to go back all over again to that same spot. Dynamic return, what that does is anywhere you want to go on the track, you can set with dynamic return. So let's say I want to go from here again. I tap the key that I have binded, and now it remembers what gear I started in, where my wheel was facing, and now I can go off. I can wash out and then just hit the key. I'm back and forth and I can just go again. I would definitely recommend dynamic return to most people, as it's a really good it's like a really good bind and just, I guess, quality of life when drifting to use. So I spin, straight back to where I wanted to be. So, I mean, really, other than that, it's just up to preference, what car you want to run, what track you want to run. You know, there's no other settings that I use for drifting. It's just this. So there was one lap, and I mean, it's really great just to get all the practice in that you can. Just by using dynamic return, you can flick in, no handbrakes. You can just test anything you want. Like, let's say I want to have more gas and more angle on this corner, and then flick around super aggressively, and then catch it with a handbrake over here to try tighten up my corner. Flick super aggressive, handbrake, and try to catch the outer line of this corner. You can do all of that on your sim with Simagic, or I mean, you can use a lot of other products like Fantech and all of that, but Simagic's the actual sponsor for Formula Drift. So I guess if you're trying to do actual drifting, they're like one of the better cost sims as well. They're very good for how much you pay. Another thing you can change in Assetto Corsa is if your car feels like it's not, you know, kind of at the right, like if it feels a little off, you can actually have a play with the diff ratio. So the higher you make it, obviously, the less, like the faster you're gonna reach the end of your gear. So now I can do like figure eights in third gear and my car won't stall. Like if I try to do that in the original gearing ratio I was in, at 3 to 7, I come into first, second, and then third, and I try figure eight, just straightens. So that's a very good demonstration of what you can do to kind of change the diff ratio. I mean, I wouldn't recommend really running 4 to 4 as a ratio, but you know, 3 to 9 in this car is very good because there's quite a bit of torque, and this is not such a huge track. And that's why I run that ratio. You don't need to run triple monitors or anything like that. I guess it just gives you a better view of what's going on in cam. I mean, you can run outside camera for drifting as well. I don't do it because I want to try get like the most out of the realisticness of drifting. So if you're running like the outside cam, then you're not really going to get the full drifting experience. But yeah, I'd say I don't really have any complaints or anything that with Simagic. I would say they're a very good product, and I mean, they're also a very good price point. There's a lot of support in their Discord as well for people that reach out. You can create a ticket in the Discord. And yeah, I mean, you can create a ticket in the Discord, and you'll have one of their professionals work it out with you. There's one last thing I can show you. So this is the Simagic Sim Pro Manager. Everything that you have connected connects in here. Your handbrake, your sequential. If you want to change it to the H. And then you have 7th and 8th. So there's all your gears, your clutch, your brake, and your throttle all show up here. If one of them's not responding properly, you can calibrate it. And you just press on all of them and that'll fully calibrate them. You can set up different types of, I guess, styles for each thing. So Forza Horizon, I've got the torque on this turned up very high because it feels a lot better to drive the cars with high torque. Where Assetto Corsa, I have it set kind of in the middle point because that's the sort of force feedback you want to feel when you're drifting, about 7 Newton meters of torque. And there's so many things you can just play around with. Like if you got their expansion, like the extra buttons and stuff from here, then you can add them in and you can kind of just program them to show whatever or do whatever you want them to. If I go online now, you can go on you can go on to No Hezi and use your Simagic. So if that's your style, to go in here and you just go remove the missing, unless you want to download a bunch of cars, which I mean, I just don't really like having to wait. But you select it, you join up, and just like that, I'm in Tokyo driving a 458. Yeah, so I mean, you can go online and jump on the No Hezi servers. There's quite a few of them. But other than that, that is everything you need to know, I guess, about drifting, and that is my honest review about Simagic. They're very, very good, their setups. I've had minor problems, like my clutch didn't work the first time when I got it out. I opened a ticket and they told me just to go in and try reconfiguring everything, and once I did that, everything worked fine. Their customer support's very good. I definitely recommend going to Simagic to get your products for sim racing, for your new rig, especially if you're gonna do drifting. It's very good for that.